Hey there! Thank you for watching my new video. Today I want to show you how you can crochet the snowflake. And when I'm making this video, it is very cold outside here. The temperature is really dropping and it already hailed outside, so I was in a wintry mood. So I thought it would be nice to make this puffy snowflake. So this is what I want to show you. So let's get started. I've got the same color of yarn. And I've got a crochet hook of 4.5 millimeters. And first I'm gonna grab the yarn, and because I don't have I've got small fingers, so I'm going to use 2 fingers, but you can also use 1. But we're gonna wrap the yarn around the fingers 9 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So grab your loop. It's kind of like a very big, massive magic circle. So grab your hook and go through all those layers of yarn and grab your yarn and pull it up front. I like to twist backwards a bit so I get it through all those loops over here. What we need to do is to secure it with a chain 1 right now, and around this thick magic circle, kind of like a magic circle, we're going to make 17 single crochets. So you put your hook through all those layers of yarn, grab your yarn, pull it up, and yarn over, pull through all 2 loops. So that's your first single crochet. And in total we need to make 17 single crochets, and just make sure your tail is on top of your circle too, so you don't have to weave in ends later on. So that's better if you just crochet over your ends too. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and 17. And go over into that first stitch and make a slip stitch. Now we're gonna make a chain 1. I'm gonna make a puff stitch around all these single crochets. So yarn over in that circle, drop a loop, yarn over in that circle, drop a loop, yarn over around that circle, drop a loop, and do this one more time, yarn over in that circle, drop a loop. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 loops on your hook. And now pay attention, because I'm gonna grab some more yarn, because what you need to do is to hold this yarn a little bit tight so it doesn't get anywhere. Now yarn over and pull through all 9 loops on your hook. And sometimes it will be difficult because there's much layers where you need to go through. And now that's yarn you just held here, put your hook in that space and make a slip stitch. So yarn through that space over here and through that loop on your hook. So you secured your puff stitch. Now we're gonna make the edges over here on top of the puff stitches. So you need to chain 4. And in this stitch over here, so not in that part here what you made your slip stitch in, but you can see if you pull your work apart a little bit, here's a stitch. So in that stitch you're gonna make a single crochet. Now chain 4 again, and in that same stitch over here I'm gonna make a single crochet. Now chain 4 again, and in that same stitch you're gonna make your last single crochet. So here's the first part of your snowflake. Now chain 2, I'm gonna make another puff stitch around this circle. So yarn over, drop a loop in that circle, yarn over, drop a loop, yarn over, drop a loop, yarn over, drop a loop. So 9 loops on your hook. So hold your yarn a bit tight over here. You can also put your finger over here on this side, just whatever you want. So just make sure you can put your hook later through this stitch over here. Now yarn over, pull through all 9 loops on your hook and into that piece of yarn you just held, put your hook in there and make a slip stitch. And here's a stitch. You can see that here's the stitch you're gonna put your single crochets in later on. Now chain 4 in a stitch over here what you just said, make a single crochet. Now chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. In that stitch make a single crochet, chain 4, and one last single crochet in this stitch over here. Now chain 2 and continue just making these puff parts and the top part of your snowflake until you have 7 of these. So I'm going to show you one more time. Yarn over around that circle, drop a loop, yarn over around that circle, drop a loop, yarn over around that circle, drop a loop, yarn over around that circle, drop a loop. Hold your yarn over here a little bit tight and draw yarn over and put that yarn through all 9 loops on your hook. Sometimes you're struggling to, well, I am, to get it through that last loop on my hook, like this. There it is. And now in that piece of yarn you just held, put your hook in there and make a slip stitch. And you can see here is that stitch you're gonna make your single crochets in later on. So chain 4, and in that stitch over here make a single crochet, chain 4, and in that same stitch over here make a single crochet, and now chain 4 again, and in that same stitch over here make a single crochet, and then chain 2 and make more of these puff stitches until you are having 7 of them. And then at the end you can chain 1, and then you can go over here in this stitch, or maybe in this stitch, whatever you like. You can make a slip stitch, cut your yarn and weave in the ends. So when you're done, you're having this cute little puffy snowflake. And I hope you liked it. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me them in the comment section below. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you did not already do that. Turn on the notifications so you get a message when I upload a new video. And for now, I just wish you happy crocheting. Bye bye.